What's good, YouTube family? It's your boy Gerald Moore Jr. back with another episode of the Ohio Cannabis Report. I apologize, I have been on vacation, so this is the first video back from vacation. I hope everybody's doing well today. Today's Monday, October 27th, I believe, Halloween weekend or week. There's a lot going on in the world. Obviously, the federal government still shut down with no signs of reopening. Obviously, they're blaming the Democrats on a lot of the issues. The biggest topic that people have been talking about is food stamps and SNAP benefits not going out November 1st, which is going to impact millions of Americans. So I know it's going to hurt millions of Ohioans as well. So I think it's important that we share resources. If you live in a community or if you are somebody that is impacted by the government shutdown, it is important that you understand where resources are, understand where your local food banks are, and hopefully, there are other nonprofits and services such as churches, institutions, schools, community members, small businesses that are willing to help because this is going to be, obviously, it's going to impact a lot of people in a lot of different communities, not just in Ohio, but nationally. So again, now is the time where, it is time for Americans to unite. I know people have a lot of different issues across the aisle. I think there was an article, I'll look it up, but it doesn't look like there are some other states where governors have tapped into the rainy day funds and things like that to ensure that their citizens are cared for. So don't know what's going to happen with Ohio. Ohio has the largest rainy day fund that it's ever had at like $3.something billion. So we shall see. Doesn't seem to be a huge stink. There's obviously been people doing the No Kings protests and all that jive. But yeah, there's a lot going on in the cannabis space. The biggest things that we've been talking about is Sub Bill 56 that was recently passed out of the House last week, which would completely change issue 2 and cannabis legalization as we know it in the state of Ohio. And so again, the politicians are seeking to change those things. So let me get over to some articles today. Again, if you are tuning in, thank you guys for tuning in to the Ohio Cannabis Report. We are an independent media platform. We are not backed by any of the state-regulated cannabis companies. We are under the umbrella of Green Environmental Outreach, which is a 501c3 nonprofit, www.geononprofit.org. If you want to donate to the mission, you can donate directly via Geo Nonprofit. We are a nonprofit focused on community, focused on education, health, healing, urban redevelopment, community health, and healing through the cannabis plant. We work with veterans, we work with elderly, we work with children, we work with anybody in the margins that is seeking help, resources, and is interested in cannabis. We also partner with Central State Extension Program. We partner with Ohio State Extension Program. Our Central State partners actually have a hemp program at Central State. So if you're a young person that is looking for opportunities in the cannabis space and agriculture, Central State is an HBCU, a historically Black college in Ohio. It's the only one next to Wilberforce. And we have a hemp program, and Dr. Craig is the leader of that hemp program. So if you're interested, you're a young person, high school going into college, or you're already in college looking for opportunities, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out via Instagram at Ohio_cannabis_report. And just let me know that you want to get in touch with the hemp program at Central State. We also have friends over at Hawking College. Shout out to our good friends over at App Girls Cannabis. Josh is doing a cannabis program, educational program at Hawking College. So there are some opportunities for folks looking to get engaged and get some, higher level education in the cannabis industry. What else? And yeah, we're still fighting. Again, we're still building coalition to build stronger engagement, stronger voices at the state house, so that the people can be represented. Right now, the only people that are represented truly at the state house are the cannabis business owners who are a part of OCAN. OCAN is a um, uh, uh, it's a coalition led by um, the main, I would say, cannabis cultivators, dispensaries, and processors in the state. They have some law firms, they have some ancillary businesses as well. But the bulk of the money and power for the lobbying is coming down from the executives and CEOs of these large cannabis companies. So again, just beware. Again, we are an independent media channel. We are not supported by any of the legal cannabis industry. We do support Ab Girls Cannabis. If you want to purchase Ab Girls Cannabis, they are a hemp drink. They are locally founded and owned out of Athens and Nelsonville, Ohio. Great team of people. They are Bobcats, Ohio Bobcats. And so great team over there. We got some great products. They have 10, 25, and 50 milligram options. They have black cherry, half and half. They have a Mountain Dew type drink. And then what's the other one? Black cherry. What's the third one? The Stelzer. There's a strawberry lemonade Stelzer. So yeah, check them out, appgirlscannabis.com. You can actually purchase products online. They have pre-rolls and other hemp products. They have hats, they have lighters. So if you're anywhere in the United States, I believe we ship pretty much anywhere. Obviously, there has been a ban by the governor. That ban was knocked down. There was a 14 knocked down by a judge in Franklin County. So again, those products can still be sold in smoke shops and stores as well. So again, a lot going on. A lot of people don't know what's going on, so that's why we try to keep you guys up to date via our YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I had to change my camera angle real quick. Like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date. Be sure to also hit the notification bell so you guys know when we go live. Also, be sure to follow us on all other social media platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on LinkedIn, we have Patreon, we have all these different platforms. We have a podcast. And so again, independent, I'm doing it all on my own. If you like what we're doing and you like what I'm doing, I'm looking for interns, I'm looking for people to work with. I will take some investors. If you want to invest in what we got going on, I would love to partner with some folks and do some more work. We're going to start doing some more events too. So we'll do some more virtual events. We'll do some more in-person events, some fundraiser type events as well. Now that I'm back in town. So again, thank you everybody for all the support so far as we continue to build out this platform. All right. Now I'm going to bring up some news articles and just go over some headlines that have been happening in the state. So we got an Ohio bill that relaxes OVI regulations. Let's go ahead and listen to the news report.
Humanity.
We'll wait for the commercial to end. Columbus, Ohio, WSYX Senate Bill 55 was unanimously passed by the Ohio Senate, seeking to change the regulations.
If you're pulled over and you just smoked, then you should probably get a DUI. But if you're smoking like last week or 2 weeks ago and you get a DUI, I think since it's legal now, that's kind of like an infraction of justice.
The bill's sponsors say that's the point. THC could stay in your system for a long time, but it doesn't mean you're actively impaired. Hannah Cubbins is with the libertarian lobbying group Americans for Prosperity.
So if they're arrested for this issue, but they truly were not intoxicated because, again, maybe they took the edible or smoked that joint a few days ago, it can really uproot someone's life and livelihood and family, so on and so forth.
Not everyone shares the sentiment. Ed Wood lost his son in a wreck to someone who's under the influence of drugs.
I want to have those people see justice, and they're not often seeing justice right now. But I also want to stop the scourge of drug-impaired driving.
He's against the bill, saying the system used to get the THC number in someone's system is flawed because everyone's metabolism is different.
It causes convictions of the innocent and causes exoneration of the guilty. It is contrary to public interest.
Cubbins says this bill is a needed next step.
The bill just simply catches the law up with the science. With the growing scientific consensus is that cannabis, marijuana, THC, whatever term you would like to use, metabolizes differently from person to person.
State senators agree, passing the bill with a unanimous vote. It's now waiting to be heard in the House Judiciary Committee. On your side at the State House, I'm Rocky Walker reporting.
Yeah, so let me know what you guys think about that.
Humanity is found in the actions that redefine care.
Obviously, that's some movement happening in the State House. Again, these bills are just moving in the State House. They haven't been signed into law yet. So the law is still issue 2. The law is still public consumption. The law is still you can home grow up to 12 plants. The law is still what it was designed as issue 2. They are trying to pass bills to change those laws and to amend those laws. And so this is why staying involved, contacting your state representatives, going to the State House and lobbying, emailing, calling them, letting them know what you think and believe should happen in the cannabis industry, whether you're for or against. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to tell nobody to be for it. I'm not telling anybody to be against it. I have my own personal views that I do share. But I also understand that these laws impact people in different ways, right? If you live in an urban versus rural versus suburban community, if you're from poverty versus working class versus middle class versus upper middle and elite class, everything impacts you differently, right? Like, if as a business owner, I could smoke all the weed that I want to. Like, I'm not drug testing myself. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's, drug testing me because I own my own businesses. I operate under my own thing. But also, everybody's different. Everybody's, again, metabolizes cannabis differently. So everybody is not as aware when they're on cannabis. I've been consuming cannabis since I was about 17 years old. I'm a high performance athlete, played Division I football, was an All-American, tried out for the NFL. Like, so my reaction time is going to be different than somebody else's that may not perform as high of a level cognitively as me. So again, you need to know if you have an indica sativa. Obviously, we need to know and understand terpenes. So if you have more of an indica leaning, more of an indica dominant strain, and that's going to relax your body, it's going to make you tired, probably shouldn't drive, probably shouldn't operate any heavy machinery. You should probably sit your ass down, take a nap, go to sleep. You know what I mean? Eat something. Sativas, more of your alert, up, focused, you can manage and do things. Some people don't like sativas because it gets their heart rate going, gets them overthinking. So again, I think people have to understand, and the politicians have to understand, that everybody is impacted by cannabis differently, right? We want to talk about intoxicating, just like somebody's impacted different by taking Tylenol or ibuprofen. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's body reacts differently. So I think it's important that, one, we have these conversations because there are so many nuances to us as individuals and how we consume cannabis, right? Like, everybody drinks alcohol differently and it breaks down differently. Somebody can drink 4 beers and be okay versus somebody drink a sip of wine and they're done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 6'2", 205 pounds and 210 pounds. So my body is going to interact differently. And so that's why we have to have conversations. That's why, if you're in the cannabis space, whether you're a patient, whether you're a caregiver, whether you're a consumer, recreationally, if you're a professional, you need to share your cannabis story. How does cannabis impact you? Does it help you with pain relief? Does it help you with post-traumatic stress? Does it help you with trauma? Does it help you with irritable bowel syndrome? A lot of people are afraid to share those vulnerable things, but with cannabis now being legal, the only way that we can really help get a better understanding is to share our stories on our why, right? A lot of people just think we're doing it just to be drug addicts, right? We're selling it just to, no, like, people have real life issues that they would rather consume cannabis than some of the harsher pills and other medicines. Maybe somebody was already dealing with alcohol and alcoholism. Now they've decided to change their life, and cannabis is more of a better thing, or psilocybin, right? Like, there are other things that people could use to help their bodies. So I think it's very important. And that's why we started this platform. Again, this is still fairly new in the state of Ohio. Obviously, we know a lot of people consume. Obviously, we know everybody's job and career paths may not necessarily align with cannabis. I was in that position at one point, right? As a college scholarship athlete, as somebody that was in the spotlight all the time, as a football player trying out for the NFL. They don't, obviously back then it was very frowned upon. Now that the laws are changing, a lot of things are changing. So again, I was used to being in the spotlight, consuming cannabis in the dark, right? And behind the closed doors. I got a healthcare administration degree, learned about healthcare, learned about Western medicine, learned that, wow, there's no place in our medical system truly where cannabis is even talked about as a medicine, as a treatment. Nowhere. Nowhere where we talked about the endocannabinoid system, the ECS, right? All of us have it. But these are topics that we have to discuss that our major institutions, our major universities, I know everybody's a whole Ohio State fan, OH, right? And so, again, we have to understand these major universities aren't studying it because it's still federally illegal. And so us as humans, us as citizens, us as private citizens, us as being able to create businesses and nonprofits, we have to create spaces to share these stories so we can grow these industries and not just allow the millionaires and billionaires to be the ones to profit off of such an amazing plant. And so I think it's important that we have these deeper conversations. I just called my house rep and asked why he voted for. I did see that. Seidenberg. Hey, you want to come on? I'm disappointed in the Dems. I expected it from the GOP. This bill hurts everyone. You're right, Rodney. Shout out to Rodney, man. Thank you for tapping in. You're right. You're right. A lot of the Dems don't have, a lot of these people don't have backbones. There was a good amount of people that still voted against it, obviously from the Democratic side. And I think being at the state level, what we really have to start doing is isolating these politicians, right? Seeing what they're doing. Because again, politics is politics. People have bills and these people have bills. So they might say yes because they got another bill that they want somebody to say yes for, right? Like it's you scratch my back, I scratch your back, right? And so again, this is why we have to stay on these people. This is why we have to expose the agenda and what they are doing, the things that they are saying yes to, especially for things that we truly care about, right? And again, we can't stay on every topic. I chose to focus on cannabis because I feel like cannabis sits at the intersection of a lot of the social issues that we're dealing with, right? Like we've had an entire war for 65 years, a domestic war within our own country against cannabis and those communities that used it. Then we propped up the prison industrial complex on top of that, right? And then we've demonized people through film, through TV, through the news, that these people are bad people. These people are menaces. These are drug addicts. We got to keep our kids away from, these people turn into demons. They, again, there has been a narrative that's been planted in people's minds. And so that's part of that stigma. And that's what's still pervasive within our political realm, right? Because again, most of these politicians are 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. So they were still in this very much so just say no, war on drugs, lock people up for drugs, right? Instead of getting people help, right? You look at the opioid crisis in Ohio, get people help. You look at the mental health crisis in Ohio, get people help, get people more resources, more funding, help build healthier communities, safer communities, not just for wealthy people, right? We can go to any suburb in the state of Ohio and it's beautiful, right? Beautiful roads, sidewalks, parks, schools, daycares, banks everywhere, nice cars, always a lot of activity. Then you go to a inner city community or urban community, whether it's in Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati, or Springfield or Dayton, and they're all run down. You know what I mean? Whole time we're giving billion-dollar handouts to multi-billion-dollar corporations to build data centers to take fresh water out of communities, take energy out of communities that we then have to pay for. So again, what are you going to stand up for? And that's what people have to really understand. Danny Isaacson couldn't give me a reason he voted on it. He told me he'd give me an answer when he had more time. Bring up the Nixon cabinet member quote on the war on drugs. Yeah. Hey, if you want to hop on, let me. I'm gonna send you this link real quick. You can hop on. I'm gonna put it in the chat. And you can just copy paste it, and I'll bring you on. Because I've been out of the mix, honestly, man. I be so busy, man. I got kids, and I can't really stay up on everything all the time. I'm trying to the best I can. That's why I need an assistant, man. I need about 3, 4, 5. Because once we start getting this money, once I start getting this money, shit, I'm the type of person everybody gonna eat. I'm not selfish. You can see. I win. I know how to win. I win. And so I know you win by a team. And so, obviously we small, we a startup, we scrappy, we grassroots. But, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Let me put this thing. I'm about to walk the dog up. Man, hop on. You can walk the dog and talk. Trust me, AI is my assistant, but you still need humans, right? Like you still need people human interaction is still important. So yes, I do use AI for a lot of things in terms of build out, in terms of organizing my thought processes, organizing my strategy, looking up information, right? Helping me with articles, helping me with, doing information. But again, there's still a certain aspect to humanity. That's why I love playing football, because again, like I could go play individual sports. I could have been good at tennis. I could have been good at any sport. Love basketball as well. But team sports, there's something special when you have a collective of people who are all going after one goal. And as a football player at the Division I level, you're playing with guys from Texas, California, New York, DC, Maryland, Virginia, Ohio, like all over the country. And then you have all different types of backgrounds, right? Raised Republican in a small town, raised Baptist in a big city. This kid comes from a big family. This kid comes from an adopted family. So there's so many different pieces, and then all those things have to come together, not only just to win a game, but then to try to win a championship. And it's a very interesting thing. I'll send you my AI walkthrough on the bill. So, I think it's important, for all of it. You know what I mean? Like AI is a tool and a resource for sure. But also we still have to keep AI accountable, right? The people that are doing this stuff. Because again, it's not everybody has access to it either, right? Especially you look at a place like Ohio. A lot of people in Ohio still, and it don't matter what side you sit on, red, blue, pink, yellow, brown, whether you rich, poor, like there's a lot of people in these places that don't have access to high-speed internet. People don't have access to, MacBooks. People don't have access to the latest iPhone. People don't have access to Wi-Fi and 5G. And so people have to really realize, like, how privileged are you and how do you use your privilege, right? You have a smartphone, and like we all have these smartphones, and people don't even use them. Like you got a whole 1080p 4K camera. You could go live to the world. You can create your own. And people still just, oh, I need a platform. I did all of this shit, Ohio Cannabis Report, from my phone and my house right here, and my computer. That's all you need. And the internet and energy and just the will to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people got to understand, like, ain't nobody going to give you shit. You got to take it, especially in America, bro. Like, that's what they do. They just take it. Ain't nobody going to give you nothing. You got to take it. But the collective, man, we got to come together as a collective. And again, everybody has a different agenda, which egos, pride, greed, everybody got their own thing. So that's why it's very challenging, especially right now in this cannabis space, because you got the hemp farmers, you got the retail sellers who is like, I could just go get some cheap shit from China, or I can get some cheap stuff from over here, sell it in my little store, make 10x of what I purchased it for. And they not even doing nothing to even, we don't see these people at the State House, right? Where are these people at? Where are all these business leaders at? What do? They send their lawyers, they send their lobbyists. So just beware. When shit don't go your way, you can only complain so much if you're not doing anything. A lot of people not doing nothing. You pay these politicians. Like, your taxes pay for these politicians to do what they're doing. Let's see. Ohio Capitol Journal, marijuana wins while hemp. Let me see.
Oh.
Yes. What's going on?
Oh, there we go. I popped in.
I'm about to bring you on. What's happening? Ooh.
Not much. What were you about to? What was the headline you were about to show there?
Hold on. Let me. There we go. So marijuana wins while hemp loses in Ohio House's passed bipartisan bill. So go ahead and let them know who you is, Rodney. Let them know who you is, where you at, what you talk about, what's going on, your perspective, man. We on YouTube Live, so
Yes,
there's
sir.
not a lot
So
of people on here now, but we're gonna save it.
That's good. So I'm Rodney Hash. I'm mostly on Instagram, but also on YouTube. I actually started off on YouTube. Went and gave testimony twice on SB 56. 2 different iterations of it. They thought they were going to keep changing it. That was going to make it better, but it's like CRC. You can't make dog shit better. It's still dog shit. You may make it sparklier, but it's still a dog shit bill.
Right.
I'm with you. We definitely need to hold all of these guys accountable. Anyone who voted yes on it, if you're like in their district, you should be calling them and asking them, why'd you vote yes on that? Haven't you had plenty of opposition? I know everyone in every area has been calling and saying, like, hey, don't vote for this bill, but yet they still voted for this bill.
Right.
Even DJ Swearinger, who was like I think it was like the ranking member in the committee, voted no, which kind of surprised me.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what are your thoughts on it? Like, why are you thinking they voted how they voted with?
I mean, I'm actually going to be posting a short on it later at some point, but like there's a bunch of different provisions in it that even with the newest iterations, just really bad. Like, yeah, it's like that headline says, it's definitely a big win for the metric industry, but it's a big loss for everyone else, including you and me. I think you were touching on this, but one of the biggest things that annoys me about it is now, if once this hits the governor's desk, it's signed, which it will. If you get fired for a THC drug test, you are no longer eligible for unemployment benefits in the state of Ohio per SB 56-16.
Say that one more time for the people in the back.
So if once this gets signed by Governor DeSwine, you will not be eligible for unemployment benefits if you fail for a THC drug test, even if you have your med card. That's like one of the biggest things that really pisses me off, seeing people that are sponsored by labor movements.
Right.
The guy that I was talking to that asked me about like how we could use hemp for agricultural purposes to help clean up East Palestine. That's Seinenberg.
Yeah.
He's sponsored by labor movements yet, man. But he voted yes on this. And he couldn't give me a good reason why to vote yes on it. Him and Danny Isaacson. Danny Isaacson's the minority party leader. He's the head of the Democratic Party right now in Ohio. He said, oh, I'll get back to you when I have more time.
Yeah.
It was late at night, but still, like, no, that's not okay.
Yeah, these, at the end of the day, I think Ohio is run by big corporations, right? And it's labor. So it's,
Mhm.
again, if we don't get labor involved to speak up on this particular issue, which I haven't seen many, labor unions that, let's say the steel union, let's say the, pipe fitter union, if these people don't get involved, because these people have a lot of money, they have a lot of power and infrastructure, and I don't know how to address them, personally, but I think this is an issue that they really need to get behind. One, because we know a lot of labor people deal with health issues. You know what I mean? Like if you got, a heavy lifting job, right? You might roll out your back. You are logistics, you drive a truck. And so I think we have to really educate our labor unions, because they're the ones that have the money, they have the power, they have the lawyers and the backing to push back
Well, that's
against
why
what
I'm so
some of
big
these
on
people are doing.
this labor union strike that's going on down in Columbus at the Yerba Wellness Center, which you were actually the first one to publicly post anything about.
I
So
won't I
speaking
won't
to
take
their
credit. I will not take credit as the first one. I got that tip from Ebony Hempress off of Threads. Shout out to Brianna and
okay,
Ohio TV. So I got
I know.
I got a tip from them, and I was in the car already, and I was about 10-15 minutes away. I said, let me swing over there real quick. And this is why I tell people, use your damn cell phone. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we all got to talk,
We
even if we
gotta
don't like
talk.
each other. We all got to talk.
Well, we don't even
Like
know
we
that
all
we don't
argue
like
over
each
dumb
other.
stuff.
Like we don't like each other because of you don't know. You grew up in a completely different place than me. You don't like me because you don't know me, because you've only seen me on the internet or seen what I've said, and you don't like what I said. Like we have to this whole like, and we are grown ass adults. First of all, if you don't like somebody, turn the channel.
Let me rephrase it. Even if we don't agree with everyone on every single aspect of cannabis stuff, we all got to like be on the same page and communicate with each other, even if we don't all agree
Isn't
on
cannabis all
everything,
about
because we're
love?
not all going to agree.
Like, isn't
You're never going
cannabis
to
all
agree
about
100%
love?
with
Like,
anyone.
we should be trying to spread the love, right? Like, I thought that's
Yeah,
what cannabis was about. Like, more cannabis for me, more cannabis for you, more peace,
but
more healing.
I would also still push back and say you were the first one on the ground there.
Yeah. I was the first one there to kind
So
of blow. You know what I mean?
when I went there, I was talking to the one guy, Rich, who's like one of the Teamsters union members, and he's from the postal workers. Uh,
Okay.
so he's got
Yeah, that
experience.
would.
He was telling me some stuff, and dude, like as soon as they actually start going into union negotiations, they then have subpoena power, which means they get to pull the books and they get to see how much money these companies are really making versus what they're
Yeah.
actually paying people.
Yeah,
That's the stuff they don't
bro.
want you to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That's
and
exactly what's going on.
I think by supporting them and getting that union going, I think that'll really help kickstart the people's take back of cannabis. Because right
Yeah.
now, what I'm seeing in cannabis in the legal industry is it's these third generation wealth, million billionaires that they have all this money and power, and they think in politics that's how they're gonna use their money and power. But in all reality, we the people have the power. We just
Right.
have to get together and like collectively work together on it. Why does money in politics matter so much? Because of marketing. Well,
Mhm.
why does marketing matter? Because of votes. So
Right.
if we collectively, that's why the podcast space is getting blamed for the presidential election. The wind's coming from that. They say, well, why is that? Because it's marketing,
Yeah.
namesake. Like you get him out there, you get him in front of people, you get him talking. Don't matter what he says. People are seeing him. More people are going to see it and want to vote, regardless, even if they don't vote. So
Well, this is what it's always been, and again, everything is a small sample size, right? Like we just getting to the point where it's like more people can see what's going on. Like when I first moved to Ohio, I was like, oh no wonder motherfuckers out here is crazy. Like you in a bubble, like everybody in these small little bubbles where you're not really experiencing what else is going on in the world, and you're only getting the news from your vantage point. You're only getting exposure from certain vantage points. And then you're
Yup.
seeing what other people are doing. And you're like, well, that's crazy because I grew up conservative. Well, you grew up conservative because y'all don't have shit out here. Like you don't got no other cultures to see that, oh, people just want to do great things too. But yeah, we have differences. Like we could be Christian, we could both be Baptist and be two completely different things.
But
We
you
could be
still have more in
Catholic, but
common than not. And that's the funny
you're a
part.
human.
It's just as
You're a
soon as you
human.
talk and start having that conversation, you start realizing, like, I mean, Christians get mad at Muslims because they think that Muslims don't believe in Jesus. That's not true at all. Muslims believe in Jesus. They just think he's a prophet. He's just not the son of God. But they still
Right.
respect Jesus. So, like, instead of
And they
fighting
just
over
speak a
Jesus,
different
why shouldn't we
language.
be like, that's not what he would have wanted. He wanted to want none but love.
But it's ignorance, right? Again, it's ignorance. And when you
Yup.
and part of that is right, you look at a state like Ohio, you look at some of these southern states, and what they've perpetually done is try to not allow people to be educated, right? And just
Yeah.
well-rounded. And so
They don't
again,
want us
that's
to
why
talk.
it's up to us to, again, put our differences aside. We've had tons of communications. We see what goes on in the chat rooms and the different spaces. Everybody
Yeah.
is at a different stage, a different purpose. People's levels are different. You're a combat athlete, so you're passionate. You get riled up,
Yeah.
and that rubs people differently. I'm the same way. I played a combat sport, so I'm very passionate about what I do, how I
Yeah.
talk, how I present. But again, that throws some people off because they're not used to that.
Yeah.
Most people ain't never had no hands put on them. Think about Trump. Put Trump ass in one of them little things y'all be doing. He fucked up. You know what I mean? He'll quit.
You'd be amazed how many cops have never had actual, like,
Oh, I
prior
know.
to
Man, I've been
that.
recruited by every major agency in the United States.
Yeah.
Man, the thing about being a big time athlete is you get to be with the sheriffs, the police on a first name basis. You get to talk to them just like they're human beings. They look at you in awe because of what you do. So I've seen it, and that's why I live how I live, because I know most people,
Mhm.
if you ain't got no weapon, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, and I
Even then, like,
can't even hit people because if I touch you and I fuck you up, I'm a lethal weapon because of all the experience that I've had as an athlete. You know
yep.
what I mean? So I have to move in the real world differently than the average person. I have
Mhm.
to be on my P's and Q's. I can't be everywhere. I don't want to be everywhere because my observation skills compared to everybody else is different.
Mhm.
So that's why I address things how I address them. That's why I don't care what people think, what people say, because most people have never been in my shoes. They will never experience the things that I've experienced to even come from the perspective that I come from. You know what I mean? Like, nobody knows what it's like to be this big athlete, you smoking weed, but you scared that you might get drug tested. You know what I mean? And then it be all over the news and the internet. And then people start talking about you, judging your character the whole time. You're just trying to take care of your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, while you're being exploited by everybody. And this was
And your
pre-NIL.
physical recovery.
Right.
I mean,
Just
that's
rest.
like, you can't make the argument that cannabis is a performance enhancing drug, but you can't make the argument that it's a recovery enhancing drug.
Well, check this out. How you gonna say it's a performance enhancer, but then it becomes legalized, and now it's an essential service, and then at the same time you're saying, well, it makes people lazy, it makes people dysfunctional, it makes people, go to harsher drugs. 75% of my football team smoke cannabis. You know what I mean? Come in high, leave high, but then we getting pills too, right? So it's like, come on, man. Like,
And the crazy part about, like, perspective on cannabis is because we all started coming into that whole echo chamber thing where we're all used to being around other cannabis users, and we've all seen the propaganda as nonsense. But most people that don't use cannabis don't know, and they believe the propaganda. So even in today's world in 2025, even though most people you would think would know better, there's still quite a few people that don't.
well, because, and that's
You
again,
know,
we assume, right? The people aren't getting the information. Just think about it. Before we started this, like before we truly started having conversations like this, when was it happening? It wasn't. Like we just
No.
legalized. Like we have to understand like the time, right? Look at the time frame. We had Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, COVID, legalization passed 6 years ago for medical. That was a fucking hell and high water, right? So then you still have all the education, you have the rollout, you have all of this. People that are medical don't want to talk about their issues, so you're not having
They're
people,
scared. They
talk
still don't
about.
have protections.
Yeah, where they're not protected, but also it's still being vulnerable. It's still, where are the spaces? I'm not just going to talk. I'm not just going to share that, hey, I'm
Yeah.
dealing with this ailment or issue, because, oh, people may look at me as weak. People may say, oh, I'm just making excuses. People may say, oh, just suck it up, because that's what we've typically done, right? There's still this stigma against, oh, you're a drug addict. Whole time we don't talk about pills. We don't talk about alcohol. You know what I mean? We don't talk about all these other, things that people get sucked up into. But cannabis has been known to regulate, has been known to balance. You see people that consume cannabis, they're not out here trying to fight people. You know what I mean? They're not trying to be all, it's a very
Not
chill vibe.
normally. Not normally.
So, but again, that's why the conversations are so important. That's why us having this dialogue, us showing the information. Because again,
just
most
having that
people are
space, like
afraid, man.
and like you said, just having that space. Even on that same note, but a little adjacent to it, I've been recently giving space to people that they're in the industry and they're scared to speak out about stuff. They've got a lot of insider knowledge, but they're scared that if they say anything, that they're going to get fired and blackballed from the industry and stuff like that. One of which pieces of information that just came across my desk the other day. I can't say too much because my source is still kind of like figuring out how they want to word it and how they want to say it for public information, to where they don't give out their information. But all those recalls that have been going on, right?
Yeah.
That can be stemmed back to an OCAN meeting.
I mean, everything stems back to OCAN.
Yeah, OCAN. Basically, you're either Andy Rayburn and the owners of Rivera Creek and a couple others, or you're getting recalls, like stupid stuff, like things that aren't the same recall that just hit Clutch and who was the other one, GIP or something like that. It also, like that same, it's something to do with the sugar coating the gummy. Well, that same issue is going on with WANA. Why isn't WANA getting hit? I don't know. Can't imagine.
Well, it's all about who got the money, man. Who putting up the money? Who's funding? Who's filling whose pockets? Who's taking out who to lunch? Who's going to who with the golf outings? Like that's what's going on during. Like right now, somebody's meeting, discussing, moving money over somebody's account.
Wasn't Brian Stewart and Huffman both at that a bunch of these OCAN meetings? Like, weren't they in pictures at the thing on the OCAN Instagram? I don't know. They have to be blocked. I can't even see it anymore.
I mean, that's what OCAN is, right? Like OCAN, it says on their website, they are the lobbying arm for the cannabis industry. And so that's what they do. When you're a lobbying arm, you schmooze the representatives. They were just in Congress, but again, how are they funded? Right, they are funded by the dollars that all of the $3 billion that's been made in the industry.
And that's not going to employees, that's going to things like that. They spent mad millions on trying to get rec pushed through, but how much of that money went back to employees? I mean, when I was at Buckeye, we were promised bonus after bonus after bonus, and we never got it. They said, "Oh, you were just under the threshold, and we had too much moldy product." And it's like, that's not our fault. We aren't like, we're just here plicking the plants and stuff like that, telling what you're telling us to do. You guys are the ones responsible for the air control and the environmental controls and everything else like that. That's responsible for the mold. So, like, it's not our fault that we grew hella weed, but y'all can't sell it because it's moldy.
Right.
And that was what your bonus is based on. So it's that moment of, there was almost 6 months, if not longer, we were supposed to get bonuses every month, but because they changed the bonus structure again. And every time they change it, it seems like it gets worse for people in the thing. Oh, Yeah, you're going through Ocan's thing. Yeah, like I said, I can't even view them on Instagram now. I'm blocked.
Yeah, they blocked me on Instagram as well.
That's hilarious. I mean, but that really goes to show their true colors when they're blocking
I
people that are
think
actually
they're
community members.
I think they're the ones that tried to get our Instagram taken down too.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, look, presenting sponsor Meta. You got to be kidding me.
Look where they at. They are a platinum sponsor.
They're the top one.
Yeah.
Oh no, the policy conference. That's why. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. They're right up there with Google. That's how much money they've dumped into this. That's insane. But I mean, it makes sense because they basically just completely shut down the hemp market. THCA flower isn't even legal now. Like, they made it, they're the only game in town once that passes. And it will.
Oh yeah. Man, Ohio, they don't play small ball, bro.
Bro, go back a picture. I seen a meme of that somewhere on Instagram where they were talking and someone used AI to make the two dudes on the right talk. And I can't even say what they said on Instagram, but man, that shit was funny. I didn't know that's where that came from.
This was the golf outing, the classic.
Yeah, I got into it with the owner of that one, James, a little bit because I was pointing out that I'm like, bro, you guys are like very heavily servicing like these like metric owners and stuff like that, and the ticket price for an event is insane.
Well, the thing about it is these companies, the way they're designed now, is they have to use that money again for nonprofit, right? And so, why a lot of like. That's why like the business is crazy. Like once you get the LLC, you get your EIN number.
Oh, look, there's Mr. Andy Rayburn.
Mm-hmm.
That's the devil incarnate right there, damn near.
This dude owns like huge like venture capital firm.
Yeah, he is very heavily controlling this market right now. Everyone I'm not even just saying it because I worked for the dude and I can't stand him because I worked for him and he got me one. I'm saying it because everyone else comes to me and they're like, Andy Rayburn's at the top of this. Andy Rayburn's at the helm of this. Andy Rayburn, this, that, and the other. That's what everyone's coming to me saying. People that are also heavy insiders that are like, yo, dude, this guy's fucking shit up.
You don't have to be an insider. It's right here. This is open to the public. Like, this is what trips me out is how everybody's just like, oh my God, like everything's so behind the scenes, Reddit this. No, it's out in the open.
Not that part. That part's right there. This is just from their what's this, their Facebook page or Instagram?
Facebook page.
Yeah, they don't have me blocked on X either.
Anybody can go through this and see what their agenda and mission. Oh no, they don't got no Juneteenth. Oh no. Oh, I'm about to.
Yeah. But that's again, and then celebrate Pride. But again, so here, I know personally, while I was at Buckeye, in the cultivation section, they talk about being pro-trans and pro-gay and pro-LGBTQ the whole way. Like they're super progressive, they say. But then when it comes down to actually having a trans employee in there, they gave them no protections. When they told them they didn't feel safe in a certain situation, they didn't make them feel safe.
Of course not.
That person got fired not too long after that for something stupid. And it's not the only incident like that they've had issues with that type of situation where it's. I really think unions are what's really needed, especially with Ohio being an at-will employment state. Just that one thing in the contract being a just cause firing only. You cannot terminate someone just because you don't like them.
But that's where they get. I mean, that's where they get people in Ohio, man. It's you have these small, medium-sized businesses. You have contractors, so it's very murky waters. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, a lot of people get caught up in the fucking web of the system. You know what I mean? And it's very much so a diabolical thing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm just trying to work. Like, there's a reason I have never been involved in the Ohio cannabis industry when it got legalized. There's a reason I didn't go work in a cultivator dispensary, try to get into management, because I saw, first of all, like, I'm like, yo, if anything, I want to own one of these shits, and I can't even own it. Oh, hell no.
It's not only can you not own it, working inside of it, you'll never be able to work up to the top unless you're a yes man for
And that's
one.
any company though. And I realized that coming out of the league, my first corporate job was for Verizon Wireless, and I worked there for about 2-3 years.
Verizon is very similar to the cannabis industry, having worked at both. Yeah,
exactly.
If
And
you
so
know how to
it's
really
tech.
suck up
It's
and
big
smooth
tech.
and do some really crooked shit, yeah, you'll rise to the top. But if you don't know how to push stuff on people that they don't want, they don't need, you're not going to the top. Which one am I talking about? Cannabis or am I talking about phones? Who knows? Interchangeable.
All of it. All of it at this point is that's what it is, right? It's sales. It's you look at marketing, it's a bunch of bullshit, right? So that's why I couldn't rock with how the industry was being rolled out. It just ain't make sense to me. And then you're just leaving all these people behind. We just gonna act like shit didn't happen the last 65 years.
So probably a very large amount of successful businessmen, right? I do. I can tell you none of the people that I personally know that like I've had regular interactions with, none of them could afford to be owners.
Oh, not at all.
So again, a small dispensary out in Ashtabula County that I reported on with the whole sexual harassment and then firing an employee a week later and everything else and the 9 felony charges, Italian Herbs out in Ashtabula County. The only dispensary in the county. Keep in mind, where was I going with that? I lost train of thought. Oh, it's gone. Oh, yeah. The type of money that family has, because it's a small family-owned dispensary. It's the Lorellos and the Orlandos. The Orlando family is the ones that own the grocery stores out there, the Orlando brothers. If you're in Ashtabula County, you know that grocery store because it's bigger than Giant Eagle out there. Then you've got the Lorello family that if you look at Paul Lorello and his great-grandfather, they're railroad. They were part of the construction of the railroad companies out there way back when. So they're third generation, really, really, really wealthy money. Those are the type of people that can afford to get into the industry, even at the bottom levels.
The Hondros family.
The Hondros family?
So they're the ones out here. I don't know if it's GTI, it's one of those, but they have a pretty big band. They also have a CBD hemp farm and company out here in Westerville. But they did they had like a medical school or something, like nursing school, and I think real estate or something like that. And they were one of the families. I met with one of their executives a while back, 2 years ago. But it's big money. You know what I mean? Big money and connections. That's what Ohio is all about. Like, again, I moved to Ohio for a reason, because when I moved to Ohio, when I came to college, I said, "Oh, this shit's sweet out here." Like, big fish in a small pond. Because one, everybody ain't ready to be on camera. Everybody ain't ready to have that, be able to finesse and move. And so when you look at cannabis in the industry, you're like, oh, like, it's hella space in the cannabis industry. Like, I don't have to own shit for real, but I can talk hella shit. You know what I mean? Like, I can create my own lane in the space. But I just realized in Ohio, man, like, we were missing out on a huge opportunity. And there are way too many. I mean, there's 11.8 million people in the state. 2.7 million people voted for cannabis. How many people are small growers that, really love the plant, really love, gardening and just life, right? How many veterans need a specific strain? Like, how many people are caregivers dealing with cancer, dealing with all these ailments and illnesses? Whole time we have a failing healthcare infrastructure in the state of Ohio, in most of these counties. Now, with a lot of these policies that are going in, a lot of these healthcare centers are going to close. And so you're not going to have access to primary care. You're not going to have access to emergency care. You're going to have to travel 30, 45 minutes to get to a Columbus. And that's the difference between life and death for a lot of people. And I fear, a lot of the bullshit that we get into, a lot of people don't think about. You know what I mean? Especially for our older population. There's a big older population in the state of Ohio, and there's an aging population. So I think, people just have to get over the selfishness of the moment and realize, like, this is bigger than one individual community. Like, we're literally on the brink of a lot of shit if people don't, you know, come together. And it's going to impact everybody. It's not just going to impact, you know, this lower demographic, people that benefit from SNAP. It's going to impact the middle class. It's going to impact, you know, the working
And
class.
what we
So
do here in Ohio affects the rest of the
the
country
rest of the
more than
country,
people realize.
yeah, I mean,
And
people love the Buckeyes all around the world, so they paying attention.
bro, you travel. Anywhere you travel, you'll meet someone from Cleveland. Oh, I'm over
We was
here in
just in
Texas.
Florida. We was just in Florida. We drove, so we went through West Virginia, Georgia, Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina. You see somebody from Ohio everywhere you go. You know, somebody got a Buckeye hat on, a Buckeye jersey. You
Do you
know,
know Jack Grover's from Cleveland?
who's Jack Grover?
Grove Bags?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're headquartered in Bedford Heights, man.
Well, I mean, Ohio again is a big industry place. So, like, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. So I've been studying the business landscape since I've been in Ohio for the last 15 years, and so I'm a student. You know what I mean? So I've been studying the legit landscape of damn. Ohio used to be this, but then like nobody thinks about that transition of losing all of these factories for cars, and then the factories that produce the tires and the wheels and the metals and the buttons and all these different pieces that were headquartered in Ohio, and then all other sorts of things, right? Plastics, boxes, cardboard. You have
We
all
got
these things.
Wage Lock is headquartered
Right.
here. Duct Tape is headquartered here. Progressive is headquartered here. Lincoln Electric is headquartered here. There's
Procter and Gamble's in Cincinnati. You got Kroger in Cincinnati. You got Nationwide
Blaster.
Insurance here. You got Honda has a headquarters here. You got Chase has headquarters here.
Yeah, dude.
And everything operates off a big business, though, and that's what people have to understand. If you are a worker, you are a worker. You signed a contract to be a slave. So
It
if
sure
you're
feels
being
that
paid
way.
$15, it is. You have to take it verbatim. A lot of people just think, oh, I got a job. No, you think you're not a slave because you can
You're an
watch the
hourly
TV.
slave.
You know what I mean? You're selling your time for money. And then you sit there and complain and say, well, I'm doing more work, but I'm not getting promoted and I'm not getting more money. Leave. Change the job. Oh, well, I don't want to do extra work. I don't want to upskill. I've been in this job for 5 to 10 years. They should just pay me more money. Make them
That's when
pay
you got to
you more money.
unionize.
Then guess what?
Those are
A
your
lot of
options:
people,
or
but
unionize or leave.
Leave, or guess what? Try to get leadership positions. But no, I don't want to do the extra work to get that leadership position because I don't want to be a micromanager to the supervisor. And
I mean,
so
even
again,
then, I tried being a manager. Well, you know
yeah,
what they gave me?
exactly.
They gave me more responsibilities, and
Yeah,
because I was not a yes man, they just wouldn't give
yeah,
me the role and title.
right.
Unless you're a yes man, unless you're gonna basically go all day
Yeah.
long, you're not gonna really
Own
get
your own
anywhere,
shit.
unfortunately.
It's America. You got to own your own shit and be willing to live and die on your own sword. You can't come into somebody else's thing and say, well, I need you to pay me more, but I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to talk to you how I want to talk to you. I'm going to be late. But at the end of the day, somebody's still at the top of that chain. You know what I mean? And you have the same power to do that in America. And that's the beauty of America. But a lot of people, we have been conditioned because the older generation was conditioned. You can work somewhere for 30, 40 years, retire, get a pension. You can't do that anymore.
But what they
They
don't
milk
tell
that
you is
cow.
during their generation, it was on the table for them to only have a 30-hour working week, and big business fucked them over out of it and wouldn't let them do it because they seen that the same thing that's going on right now with AI and automation was going on back then with machinery. They realized, wait a minute, there's way more profit. You're able to get like 10x what you were able to do before.
Well,
So why
because we
can't
can
I, as a
overproduce
worker,
too.
just get the same amount of profit that you're making no matter what? So I just get like this much more, even though you're making this much more. Like, why can't I just get that much more for like this much less? Like, it's not about
Because
being lazy. It's about the
it's
fact I want to
inflated.
go do other things in my life. You can't hold me hostage here for 40 hours a week and pay me dirt shit so that way I can't spend the other 20 hours of the week being able to do the things that I would like to do.
So when do people leave?
That's the thing. So I've left a lot of jobs. I've either gotten screwed over and left or just left. But like it's not easy. But once you do it, you realize, oh, it's not that big a deal. Like it is what it is. There's other jobs out there. Just make
It's
sure you have the
America,
other
right?
job first.
It's America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Land of the free, home of the brave, land of opportunity.
Supposed to be. All right,
How
man.
do you
I gotta get
you
out of here. I
create
gotta get going.
opportunities?
Peace.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you popping on. Let the people know where they are. Y'all can follow him, Rodney Hash, on Instagram, I believe. He does a lot of great work. He's one of the people I think I talked about in the previous episode that has had, conversations with politicians. But again, man, people have to realize, like, it's America. You know what I mean? Like, leave. Create your own shit. Bet on yourself. A lot of people don't want to bet on themselves. A lot of people want the handout. It's easier. It's easier to come in. The work is already there. You do your job, X, Y, and Z, but then you can't complain and say, well, I'm working harder and you're not paying me more. Think about me. I've been the same way most of my life. School, you ain't about to stress me for sure. Especially with all the shit I got to deal with in life. Fuck this job. Fuck you. Fuck all of this shit. I will be a bum on the street and take care of myself that way. You're not about to talk to me as a grown man any old type of way. We could take this shit outside because y'all be getting talked to crazy on the line. Now, my life is a little bit different than everybody. I get it. But people, this is America, dog. Like, I see opportunity, right? Right now is the greatest opportunity in the world because people are fucked up. Create a solution. Ohio Cannabis Report was a solution for me. Athletes in cannabis became a solution for me. And now what those things become, I don't know. I just started it. What Ohio Cannabis Report has become, I just started. I had the idea. And I was like, oh, Ohio Cannabis Report. I'll buy the fucking name. I'll trademark. I'll do all these things so I own it. I'll get the Instagram. I'll get the YouTube. I'll get the X. I'll get all these things. And I'll just start to create and start to build. I start having conversations. I start following the legislation. We were in COVID. So I was like, oh, shit, I could be online and just be looking all this shit up. I start having conferences. I start educating myself. While educating myself, I'm just educating the community. I got invited to do a press conference the day after me and my wife had a stillbirth. But again, I was fucked up. We were fucked up, grieving. I showed up fucked up, spoke in front of the state. They probably thought I was a fucking crackhead. I ain't even give a fuck because I'm like, you giving me a chance to speak on cannabis at the state level, I got to push through it. A few years later, here we are. Like the fight, like freedom ain't free. You know what I mean? Closed mouth don't get fed. And a lot of people, oh, woe is me. It's what? Y'all willing to fight everybody else but a system that's fucking you up? It's crazy. You rather fight me. Oh, why everything got to be about race? Well, because for me it is. For you, you got white privilege. I don't know what that's like. I mean, I know what it's like a little bit because I went to Catholic school. So I got black, white, Catholic school athletic privilege. So again, I know I use my privilege. Like, I know what it's like to be in the hood. I know what it's like to grow up and my family on Snap. My family buy, sell, use EBT. Boosters. Trump scamming, we scamming. We just doing it on a lower level. They doing it for hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. We doing it for thousands, tens of thousands. This is for entertainment purposes only, educational entertainment purposes. But it's America, bro. Y'all make sure y'all go get my book, Courage in Cannabis: The Triumphant Stories. You can purchase this on Amazon. Shout out to Dr. Bridget Williams. This is an anthology, so it is a book of multiple authors that have written chapters. This is my chapter, the All-American my All-American Cannabis story. We got a quote from Mike Tyson. Let me read the quote real quick, and then I got to get out of here. Cannabis has been a major component in my health and wellness routine. The healing I receive on a mental and physical level has greatly improved the quality of my life. This book is a must read for those interested in learning more about the wonderful holistic healing benefits available through the marijuana plant. Tyson 2.0. And then the forward is by Adam Wilkes. Adam Wilkes is the CEO of Tyson 2.0. But we have a lot of great stories. Shout out to Candy. Candy really helped out a lot with the book. You have Mary Johnson, chef, herbalist, certified trainer, DNA wellness programmer, owner, founder of Vitamin Candy, cafes and restaurant. So you got some entrepreneurs, really great stories. Xavier Burrow, shout out to Xavier. Who else? Ed Rosenthal, the guru of ganja. Jennifer Boozer, Canabama. And you got Julie Doran, Ohio Friends and Family. So a lot of great people, man. A lot of great stories, impactful stories. Amy Carter. So yeah, Courage and Cannabis. You can purchase this on Amazon. We have paperback. You can hit me up directly too. Hit me up on Instagram at Gerald Moore Jr. If you want a signed copy. Signed copies will do for $20, $25. It could be a donation. I'll sign and put a message in there on my story. And so I'll mail you out one. So obviously for postage and shipping, a little bit more. But if you want to purchase it online, you can purchase it via Amazon. We have 2 books so far, I believe, 2 or 3 books. And so again, paperback and an ebook can be purchased online on Amazon.com. Courage and Cannabis. Also, before I leave, make sure y'all go check out App Girls Cannabis. You can look on the website as well to look up store locations on where they are still selling App Girls. Here we have the 50 milligram THCs. So yeah, if you support local, the great local company. A lot of the founders are from Ohio University. This is made here locally. The farm is here locally, so definitely support your local hemp farmers. appgirlscannabis.com. Also, if you want to support my nonprofit, www.geononprofit.org. Again, let me put it in the chat. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll probably be on a little bit later. I wasn't expecting to have Rodney in, but we are grateful for Rodney. We're grateful. I'm grateful for everybody in the cannabis community. Like I said, everybody doesn't always see eye to eye. Everybody has a different perspective, a different level of expertise and experience. I'm not a grower. Do you know what I mean? I consume. I'm a medical person. I understand business, marketing, advertising, strategy, healthcare, sports, people, data. But when it comes to growing, I just grew my first crop. You know what I mean? So I harvested my first crop. It's curing right now. So we're going to see how that turns out. I'm pretty excited. But again, I would rather the people that really love the plant, that really know how to grow, really want to grow, that those people are able to grow. I have specific issues, and I would like the best quality cannabis for my issues to just help me with my quality of life. I'm somebody that has had a lot of damage to my body, just playing sports at a high level. Obviously, you can see a lot of my stuff, my memorabilia. This is my jersey, my footballs from this is our bowl game, my first bowl game that we won, the Idaho Potato Bowl. This one we played the Little Caesar Pizza Bowl. We lost that one. And this is the Advocacy V100 Bowl. We won that. So again, I played sports at a high level, and football is a very violent sport. You deal with a lot of injuries. You deal with a lot of, things that again, over time, the pain continues, right? So in the moment you're young, you still feel the pain, but then as you get older, right, like arthritis, stuff like that. So again, everybody consumes for a different reason. Some people may be self-soothing and don't even know, right? People are self-medicating. People may be dealing with PTSD and don't even know, right? People may be dealing with, grief and other things and they don't even know. So again, we have to be graceful, but we also have to educate everybody. We have to educate folks with our stories, our lived experiences, our conversations, and just our patience and willingness to engage just on a humanity level, right? Like, it's not my position to judge everybody's decisions and choices for their life. I make my own choices and decisions, and I have to live with those. And so I think, choosing cannabis is something that I've chosen to do at a very early age, and I saw the benefits of it. I had the conversation with my parents. Parents weren't really on it, but it's made me feel a lot better with the things that I deal with in my personal life, and I've dealt with in my professional life. And so I think everybody deserves that autonomy to be able to make those decisions. And whether you choose to smoke it, which is for some people a very ritualistic experience, it's a very communal experience, it's a very spiritual experience from some people. Also, it's sometimes the cheapest way for people to get cannabis into their system. And so again, economics, socioeconomics, healthcare, education, resources, all of these things play a major role in why we have to continue to talk about this and aim to end the stigma over this plant and the people that consume it. So again, thank you all for tuning in today. I hope we helped you guys out a little bit. I hope this opens up new channels. I hope this reaches new people. Again, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, do your thing, share if you found this helpful. Hopefully, if we help one person, you know what I mean, please share it on your social media platforms. Follow us. Again, I'm not perfect. If you don't like what I say, if you don't like what I do, that's on you. I'm willing to have anybody on the show. We could have, civilized conversations. Again, I'm not for everybody. I'm not here to be liked by everybody. If you don't like what I'm doing, go somewhere else and do your own thing. That's how I always feel. So this is something that I've started out of the passion of my creativity and wanting to do something in the cannabis industry and share my perspective. So I'm all for everybody being able to create their own opportunities as they see fit. So again, thank you for tuning in. Peace, love. We out.